Why the Dodgers will win the World Series this season. I've got 5 big concerns that I think they've made me feel better about recently. Also, Shohei Ohtani has done something that probably we'll never see again. We're going to take a look at this series against the Mariners. Who will the Dodgers be playing in the wild card round? Other teams you need to be paying attention to this weekend. Also, we're answering all of your questions. We got the best of Dodgers social media. All that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Roy, a parade. We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Mookie magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. Cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credential member of the media. Friends call me DMAC. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. If you are new to the channel, noticing a lot more viewers and listeners, of course, it's that time of year. Everyone starts locking into Dodger baseball. Hit the subscribe button. We are the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel in the game. Hit that notification bell. And if you watch every episode, if you want to support this show every single day, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. Also, join our Discord channel. You got thousands of Dodgers fans talking ball all day, every day. Be sure to go ahead and do that. And then also a reminder that this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to feel right. Football season is back, and after watching Thursday Night Football after a big week of Dodgers Dugout Live, I am very excited for this week ahead. This week, I have Carson Wentz getting more than 210.5 passing yards, Jaylen Warren getting more than 57.5 rushing yards, and DK Metcalf getting more than 2.5 receptions. Now, I've been playing Prize Picks for a long time, actually, and it's great. You just pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Also, don't miss out on this week's mass discount, which has Jalen Hurts at more or less than 0.5 passing yards when the Eagles play the Bucks this weekend. Download the app today and use code NATION, that's NATION, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code NATION to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to download is below in our description. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. We got super producer here, Noel. Emma's in the background. We got producer Rob here as well, a jam-packed full house in this one, and we're looking for your comments of the show. We are looking for your fire takes. Anything you've got later for the 7th inning stretch, we'll feature that. So Noel's on the lookout. Noel is ready to rock. Noel, would you be a shirt off guy in the Dodgers post NL West championship celebration? Would you be a shirt off guy? There's these you never see Freddie or Mookie. Would you be a shirt off guy? Would you be I'd be the Kirsch dad bod,
no,
dude, letting it fly.
We all know you have a
for
six-pack under that Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah,
You don't got
more like a keg. It's okay. I appreciate that.
I think my first couple of celebrations, I'd probably go shirt off, and then I would see the vibes from there, because especially for a slip and slide, like yesterday, I think you kind of need the shirt off because I'm gonna be diving.
No, that slip and slide was awesome.
What was funny too is you see how blue the shirts are when they first put them on, and then they get soaked and they're all dark afterwards.
Yeah, no, that's
champagne.
The socks look soggy. For me, it's those soggy socks.
Yeah,
with the slides. Man, I'd go full Dodger Speedo, instantly full Dodger Speedo. Maybe just wearing the cup. Who knows? But let us know. Are you guys it's postseason when it's you see the Anthony Bonda tat, right? How about Ben Rortvedt having a surprise tattoo with a lion?
That's how it went hard.
That was pretty sick. So yeah, these guys they're ready to roll. It's going to be the first of many beer and champagne showers, and we've got so much Dodger baseball to get into. So let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that the Dodgers, they checked off the first big box, and that is win the division, make it to the postseason, and put yourself in a position to get some clarity about the run you're about to go on. Yes, the Dodgers will be playing in that wild card round, a round that could have been avoided. The Dodgers had a bottom third bullpen, the sixth worst bullpen in Dodgers franchise history. You had guys missing significant time, starting pitchers as well, but they are where they are. And I still think that this Dodgers team is going to win the World Series this year. And part of the reason why is because of the regular season that they did have. Because heading into this year, it was the Dodgers are ruining baseball. The Los Angeles deferrals. The Dodgers are just going to buy a World Series and go back to back. Shohei Ohtani deferring all of that money. The Guggenheim Group and Andrew Friedman getting every single player that they want. Collecting all those Infinity Stones. Collecting all-star talent like they're collecting Pokemon cards, right? The Los Angeles deferrals. They got Tanner Scott. They got Kirby Yates, Blake Snell, and all these guys that they brought in. I haven't heard that in a while. I haven't heard those tears in a while from those fans. You're not talking about the Dodgers ruining baseball. This is a Dodgers team that will have won the least amount of games since 2018 to win a division, right? A 90-win team, a team that was projected to win 104 games, a team that many believed could win 116 games or more. Remember, this was the Super Bowl, the super team, a team that was the super team Dodgers, one that was going to roll through the regular season, roll through the postseason. But guess what? We were quickly reminded that this is baseball. And every single year, the reason why baseball is different than any other sport is it's not basketball where you can rely on 3 stars, 5 to 9 players. It's not like that. It's not football where you have 17 games. This is a sport that has a lot of moving parts, a 40-man roster, a 26-man active roster, players that played deep into the postseason last year, players that played in Tokyo, and they've been the hunted early in the year. And a couple reasons why I feel so good about this Dodgers team right now is they've gone from being the hunted to now they're the hunters. They're the team that is going to have to beat a Mets team or a Reds team. They're a team that is going to have to go into Philadelphia and go to Philly, the toughest place to play in baseball, and knock off a hungry Phillies team that's been built to beat them, that made big moves at the deadline to get Johan Duran. They have Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, the distant second place MVP this year. The Dodgers now have a chip on their shoulder, and they're playing with an edge. And that's exactly what Dave Roberts said after the game during his speech, celebrating the Dodgers' 12th NL West title in the last 13 years.
First off, congratulations to another National League West championship. Everybody in the world knows that this division goes to Los Angeles. And,
So what he was saying there, we'll get back to that speech. Unfortunately, that clip didn't work, but we'll get back to that. And basically, Dave Roberts was saying that you don't want to lose that edge, and you don't want to lose that edge, and that's going to be important to them for this run. And that's what this team has now. They have won 12 of their last 17 games after Yamamoto's blown no-hitter. They have had an offense that's turned things around, and they've been the 4th best offense in baseball since the beginning of September. You look at an offense that has a lot of guys that are playing to their abilities right now. Shohei Ohtani since the beginning of September, he is hitting 306, 205 weighted runs created plus. Mookie Betts trending up. Andy Pages, Teoscar Hernandez looks like Teoscar Hernandez again. Freddie Freeman said yesterday that he's ready for a big October. Miguel Rojas is continuing to hit. Ben Rortvedt, filling in for Will Smith, is continuing to be that guy behind the plate that can call great pitches and do great stuff with the pitchers and has the ability to frame pitches. He's looking good. Tommy Edman and Max Muncy offensively in 10 games, 11 games have not looked great, but you saw Edman with a big hit the other night. I think you can trust what Max Muncy is in the postseason. Kike Hernandez starting to see some more hits. You're starting to see that look in Kike Hernandez's eye. And this is an offense you're not going to worry about. This is a starting rotation you're certainly not going to worry about. The Dodgers starters are elite. They can beat anyone and dominate anyone in the sport. There's no doubt about that. That your game one starter, I think that's covering the chat a little bit. Let's just ditch that. The game one starter could for any team, right? Yamamoto and Glasnow and Snell and Shohei and Kirsch and Sheehan, all of these guys are put together to be elite, and they have done that. I mean, you look at Clayton Kershaw, you look at the new role that he has for this team, where Clayton Kershaw is going to be a reliever. Shohei Ohtani could be used to clinch games. Emmet Sheehan goes to the bullpen. He's going to be used in either a piggyback situation or high leverage innings. Dave Roberts already confirmed that. So yes, the bullpen gives you concerns. There's no doubt about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the truth of the matter is that I think this team is peaking at the right time. I truly believe that. And I think you saw a team that was reeling for long stretches of this season. But let's be honest, this super team, I think, overcame a lot of adversity this year. This super team, they had players that went through super slumps. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman went through the longest slumps of their future first ballot Hall of Fame careers. Mookie Betts had a stomach issue at the beginning of the season where he lost almost 20 pounds. Mookie said, "The nights I'm just crying, I'm sick, and my wife's holding me." He also broke his toe at night when he ran into a wall in a dark room when he was going to the bathroom. He didn't make the All-Star team for a long time. He played shortstop for the best he's ever done for a full-time basis for a long time. He had a family member pass away, right? Freddie Freeman, longest slump of his career. Max Muncy had the longest home run drought of his career to start the season with 105 plate appearances without hitting a bomb. You look at this team, top to bottom, outside of Shohei Ohtani, every single guy on this team has had some adversity to deal with. And I think that's going to make them stronger, and they're going to be in a better position to get the job done. I mean, you look at this Dodgers team throughout this run, they were in second place or third place for a couple of weeks in April, but they were never more than 2.5 games out of first. And after that, they were one game back of the Padres on 3 different days in August. So I know the Padres have their first place in August for 3 days banner already made, and those rings already made. But the truth is that the Dodgers they hung in there all year. They hung in there when they were facing adversity and guys weren't healthy. Guys were going through slumps. So this is a good spot. They're in a good spot. They really are. I mean, think about this. This is a Dodgers team that has won more National League West titles in the last 13 years with 12 than in the previous 44 years combined, where they won 11. So you can't take things for granted. You have to embrace this. Since the start of the 2013 season, the Dodgers are 1,216 and 781. That's a 609 winning percentage. That'd be good for a 99 win pace throughout a 162 game season. You got 96 more wins than any team in Major League Baseball during that stretch. They won at least 90 games in each of the last 11 full seasons. The only team that's done that was the Yankees, when the Yankees won in a dozen straight years from 1947 to 1958. They have a longer streak, but even back then, they were playing less games. So that's an incredibly impressive streak. But the truth is, what the Dodgers have built has not ever happened in the history of this franchise. And I think you have to make sure that you put things into context, right? I mean, yes, the offense is great. The starting rotation is great. They do have some things they need to fix with the bullpen. And we're going to talk about that. But yeah, enjoy this because it's going to be really interesting to see how this season plays out because I think you can go in two ways. The D in Dodgers could stand for disappointment or the D in Dodgers could stand for dynasty. And I think the Dodgers have to win back-to-back championships to be considered a dynasty. Let me know down below, though. Do you consider this Dodgers run already a dynasty? Let me know. But here was Clayton Kershaw. Got to run this back because Kersh was in rare form yesterday. He really was. He's enjoying every single minute of what's left of his career. And he popped that shirt off right away. He was bringing the dad bod Kersh vibes, and you love to see it.
Has the shirt off, and I'm wearing it on my head right now. It's really wet, Clayton, and congratulations.
Thanks, Dave. I don't know where to go from there, but thanks.
Hey, what does this team mean to you? What does it mean to celebrate an NLS championship, knowing that this is your last season?
We got to work on those audio issues. We got a super chat. Charlene OSGD 698. Need to start an Etsy. Which fund for the bullpen? There you go. An early contender for the comment of the show. We got Steve A. Fire take of the day. Dodgers will win back-to-back chips because their only weakness lately has been in the bullpen. With a refreshed Roki and a fired-up Kersh pitching in ideal matchups out of the bullpen, LA is going to win it. Martin Troop, D-Mac, you wanted to put Mookie in the 6 hole of the batting order earlier this season. LOL. I said I will stand by what I said when I said what I said, and that was that if he continued on that slump that he was on, then absolutely you would have to put him down the order. There's no reason to not say that, so I don't understand that comment at all. I've been Mookie's biggest supporter on this show for years, so I don't say what you want. I don't really care. Foxy Cinnamon was just watching the champagne celebration on Joe's channel. Pants are overrated. Not sure who Joe's channel is, but awesome. Oh, Heasley. D-Mac needs to be in full uniform for the playoffs. Ricardo, what's Roki's role as a reliever, high leverage, or multi-inning pitcher? That's a great question. We'll answer that in a little bit. But first, let's hear from the best of Dodgers social media. We got designated Twitter, the best of Dodgers social media following the Dodgers NOS championship.
Designated Twitter, the best of Dodgers social media.
All right, Noah, what we got? Let's see here. First one today, Dodgers Nation. Anthony Bonda and Ben Rortvedt flicking up the Dodgers clubhouse. Can't really see. Like, make it a little bigger here. There we go. We got Dan flicking it up in the Dodgers clubhouse. Awesome stuff. Oh, our guy Fredo Cervantes. Perfect. Little Dodgers for life there. All right, next one comes from Fredo Cervantes. Dalton Rushing carrying Hessun Kim after they win the NL West division. A little picture there. We'll get the little picture up. But yeah, that's good stuff. We got Doyers Dave, Josh Reddick. How do you give a guy $325 million without ever throwing a pitch in Major League Baseball? This is good stuff. This is elite level trolling. Elite level trolling here. 2.49 ERA. Has his numbers right there and a World Series hat on. That's exactly how you do. We talked about that on the postgame show. Is you don't get pitchers like that at their stage of their careers where they're entering their prime. Usually when you get a starting pitcher and you pay him that kind of money, he's 30 or more. And to get Yamamoto that opportunity, he certainly is worth every penny of that $325 million. Okay, next we've got Bill Shaken. For the third consecutive season, Shohei Ohtani has MLB's most popular jersey for the 3 seasons that preceded those. Mookie Betts has the most popular jersey. Clayton Kershaw finished his career in the top 20 for the 12th time from Major League Baseball. Yeah, I mean, lots of Dodgers in there. That Shohei Ohtani jersey alone, it'll probably pay for his contract. But yeah, I like to see the most Dodgers in there than any other team. That Devers Giants one got picked up pretty quick. You see that. Jose Altuve down there, probably in some kid sizes, but good stuff. Let's see what else we got. Dodger Insider. Mookie Betts leads all Dodger hitters with a 390 batting average with runners in scoring position since August 1st. Betts also leads the club with 29 RBI since August 1st, including the 2-run single there in the second inning. All right. What else we got? This is from Bulu. I'm laughing at Shohei's expression while pouring champagne on Tanner Scott. He's like, yeah, that's good stuff. I mean, I saw there was a fake AI of Shohei and Tanner Scott. This AI stuff needs to stop ruining things. But yeah, he's Shohei Ohtani. I saw the look on his eyes when he was walking onto the field after they had won. You could tell that he was going to celebrate this one, but I'm pretty sure he's already locked in for the next rounds, and he's ready to go chase a championship for sure. All right, what else we got? No, this is from Cindy. No one, Ohtani when he's proud of his bestie. We need to get the videos of these.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, it's just pro playing them right now. They're supposed to be playing. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, these are all, this is like Ohtani, like celebrating his son.
Is the OBS messed up today or something? Or I think it's tripping. But Ohtani when he's proud of his bestie. Okay, cool. Awesome stuff. You got to love to see that. We good? All right. So, yeah, awesome, guys. Keep pumping those tweets out there. We'll feature them. If you guys are on social media, if you're on Instagram, hashtag Dodgers Dugout, and we'll feature them on next week. Or do hashtag designated Twitter. That would be great, too. NS, I'll answer that question later. DMAC, you think Shohei will beat Bonds' 7 MVPs? All right, coming up next, we got our big questions that the Dodgers still need to answer heading into the postseason. Who will the Dodgers play in the wild card round? We'll also get to you guys for the 7th inning stretch. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network, your front row seat to everything Dodgers all season long. Home of the #1 Dodgers podcast in the world, Dodgers Dugout Live, hosted by me, Doug McKain. Friends call me D-Mac, and we cover everything about your boys in blue, everything you need to know about Dodger baseball in less than an hour. We've got breaking news, post-game breakdowns, roster updates, trade rumors, in-depth player analysis, Dodgers trivia, you name it. Whether it's a wild walk-off at the Ravine, a key call-up from OKC, we've got the insight, we got the coverage, and we're here for you all year long. We're the #1 Dodgers site on every platform, and we're born and based in LA. We're loyal to the soil. Dodger baseball is what we do. Trusted by tens of thousands of daily listeners, Dodgers Nation is more than just recaps. We are LA. Whether you're in Echo Park or out in the Valley, Beverly Hills, whatever it is, if you bleed blue, this pod's for you. The more you guys subscribe, the bigger we can build, and we can do this together. So stay up to date with our Dodgers Nation post-game shows and breakdowns and podcasts. You can listen while you're lifting, while you're in traffic, or while pretending to answer work emails. We won't tell. Subscribe now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your baseball fix. So if you're a new listener or a longtime listener to the podcast, write us a review and we'll read it on the show. Join the conversation, stay ahead of the game, and never miss a pitch with the Dodgers Nation Podcast Network. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, #1 Dodgers podcast, a Dodgers show on YouTube. Got some comments here. OBS selling the bread. What does that even mean? Roy Estrada, where are the trolls? Astros, Yankees, Padres fans, trolls hiding. We've got the Dodgers Showtime fans. Don't think about the World Series until the Dodgers pass the wild card rounds. Yeah, I mean, you got to take it round by round for sure. I mean, if the Dodgers lose in that wild card round, you could definitely include them in the conversation of most disappointing baseball teams in history. Does a team with this much talent lose in that round? Hey, baseball is incredibly unpredictable, and that's why you just want a ticket to the dance, and you want to make sure that your spot is safe. But hey, I'd be shocked if this Dodgers team loses in that wild card round. You will be talking about this year as the biggest what if in the history of the Dodgers. I think 2013 is that for me. But hey, the good news is there's a lot of things going right for this team right now, and they've overcame a lot. They really, really have. I mean, I didn't even get to all my points in the first segment there, but I mean, just a lot of these signings have not turned out like they wanted them to. When you look at Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott and Blake Trinan and guys like that, but they all have an opportunity to pick it back up. All right, so 5 big questions the Dodgers need to answer heading into the wild card round. I think the first one you have to answer, the #1 question you have to answer is how are you going to use this Dodgers bullpen? Because that's the weak league right now. Everything else is perfect. It really is. The offense is where you want it to be. Guys have come back healthy. The guys that you were worried about as far as health are Tommy Edman and Max Muncy. Hopefully you get Will Smith back, but does anyone really think that Will Smith is not going to be available at the very least in the NLDS? And sure, he has to come back and you have to make sure the hand's right and he's playing well, but still, the big concerns, the slumps, things like that, they're actually in a really good spot. The rotation's great. It is the bullpen. That is the issue. Everything's perfect about this team. It's the bullpen. It's like you got a brand new iPhone 17, but the screen is cracked. And that screen is the bullpen. And right now they need to figure out a way to change things up. And I'm not talking about change things up from let's put these guys in some lower leverage situations. My big fear for the Dodgers and the biggest question they need to answer out of the bullpen is, do they trust the guys that helped get them there last year? Do they trust the guys that they brought in that they thought were going to assume those roles as high leverage relievers when push came to shove, when the rubber meets the road? Or are you going to do what I've been saying for a couple weeks, and that's be more creative? I'm not talking about firing the chefs at the restaurant. I'm talking about bringing in a whole new menu. That's what the Dodgers need to do in the postseason. You need to lean on starting pitchers. Is it going to be a piggyback situation every single game? We threw out the radical idea. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now, where you go Yamamoto and Sheehan in game 1, Ohtani and Kirsch in game 2, Glasnow and Snell in game 3. That's a game of high stakes poker that I don't think the Dodgers want to necessarily get involved in, just because you're banking on all those guys pitching at their best for every game. If they don't, and you have to roll a starter over to the next games later in those series, what happens then? That's going to be difficult. But can you push guys and stretch guys? They've shown that they've been willing to do that of late, is we are going to stretch guys. Every single pitcher essentially now is throwing 100 pitches outside of Emmet Sheehan's last start where he threw 84. And now it's just because he's going to be moved in the bullpen. And we could see him pitching on back-to-back days. But I think the difference is how good Roki Sasaki looked the other night, throwing 100 miles per hour again in a big league game. You need to see him find that feel for that splitter a little more on that ghost fork. But he's certainly going to make the roster after that. And I think that he's going to stand out. I think he's going to be a guy that the Dodgers lean on. He is the big X factor for that Dodgers pen. Because if you look at it, I mean, he could do for the Dodgers what Mason Miller could do for the Padres, or what Johan Duran could do for the Phillies. He's got that kind of stuff. He really does. Look at him in the MPB. Look at him in the WBC. Look at how ridiculous that ghost fork is, and when he has that fastball command. He could be that for the Dodgers. It's possible. And because of that, I think you reduce the roles of a guy like a Tanner Scott, a guy like a Blake Trinan. I think they're still going to trust early, but if he doesn't have it early, I think he's going to have a shorter leash as the postseason rolls around. So how will that bullpen shake out? I mean, that's the number one question. I mean, a lot of people have been freaking out the last couple of weeks. D-Mac, how you keep going back to Tanner Scott? D-Mac, how you keep going back to Kirby Yates? How you keep going back to Blake Trinan? Well, you got to see what you have in those guys before you move off of them, right? You have to sample them in those situations to see if you're going to continue with that role for that particular pitcher. But now, because of results and performance, they have some answers. Do you use Tanner Scott in the ninth inning in a postseason game? No. Do you use Blake Trinan in the ninth inning of a postseason game in the wild card? That'd be a tough question. I think with Emmet Sheehan and Roki Sasaki, I'd go with those guys. I truly would. So I think right now, when you put the names on a paper and you look at what they could look like, you got Yamamoto and Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, Sheehan, Roki, Kirsch, Vesia, Trinan, Bonda, Dreyer, And then at that point, you're at 11 pitchers, and you can take 3 more out of Klein, Scott, Edgardo, Kasperius, Robleski, Brock Stewart, Kirby Yates, and Kyle Hurt. And we'll see if Brock Stewart makes an appearance in the Seattle series. But Dave Roberts said the other day that there was no guarantee it was going to be activated. So that's still a concern for me. I think a bold move the Dodgers could make and should make is I would have Will Klein and Justin Robleski on that postseason roster. That's what I would take. And then Tanner Scott, Edgardo Enriquez, I think Edgardo makes it for sure. Tanner Scott, I think there is no low leverage situations in the postseason. And that's the concern for me. I think Tanner Scott does make it, but if we're basing it purely on performance this year, I don't think you could argue that Tanner Scott has pitched better than Justin Robleski. I don't think you could argue that Tanner Scott has even pitched better than a guy like a Ben Kasperius when Ben has gone just against righties. I think Ben Kasperius should make it in the postseason bullpen at some point too. I think he needs to be heard from. As far as the absolute locks go, the locks out of the pen, there's not that one lights out guy. There's not that guy that you say, okay, let's go to the pen, lights out, we got our 3 outs here. That guy doesn't exist in this group. But Vesia has been their best reliever all year. Blake Treinen has done it in the past. Anthony Bonda, I think, against lefties for sure. But if he's in a situation where, let's say, you're facing the Mets and it's Juan Soto and then a righty in Pete Alonso and then a switch hitter in Francisco Lindor, something in that combination where Lindor, of course, is going to be batting at the top, but Soto and Alonso behind him, I don't feel that much confidence against Bonda in that situation going against lefties and righties. That's a different conversation. But the upside guys are this. I'll give you the guys with the highest upside that can make you feel better about the bullpen. The dumpster fire bullpen that we saw this year. The upside guys, Will Klein has totally changed the complexion of what this bullpen could become. I think he could do what Michael Kopech did last year. High velocity, force him up in the zone, can throw slider, can throw off speed. The upside guys are Roki, Will Klein, then Clayton Kershaw. And I still think that Ben Kasperius and Justin Robleski deserve a look too. The guys that I don't think should make it is Kirby Yates. I don't think that Kyle Hurt is going to make it just because he hasn't got an opportunity. I think he has the stuff. Dave Roberts told me he has playoff stuff, but he hasn't got that opportunity. Brock Stewart, it's so late in the game that I just don't think that unless he came up, made multiple appearances you felt good about, that you would trust him to enter a postseason game. So right now, I think it's too little too late for Brock Stewart. I would have Ben Kasperius against righties over Brock Stewart against righties right now. I really would. I think he'd perform better in that role. He helped this team last year. So the other one too is Edgardo. I think Edgardo with the stuff makes it, but yeah, I mean, he throws 100 miles per hour. He can get soft contact. I definitely think at the end of the day, he gets the nod. But those are the guys to look at this weekend. I mean, the Jack Dryers, Edgardo Enriquez's. I mean, Jack Dreyer has been great this year. He really has. I mean, this team would not be where it is without Jack Dreyer. But he has a 3.86 ERA this month. Last month at 2.84. He hasn't been that same super lights out guy that we saw early in the year. And you got an influx of lefties with Clayton Kershaw going to the pen. So does Jack Dreyer still make this pen, or do they leave one of those lefties off? I think it's the Mets. You can stack lefties, but that's the big question they need to answer this weekend is who will make up that bullpen and how creative will they get when it comes to using their starting pitching. Next big question, what is the deal with Will Smith? And how quickly he's going to be back, what's going to look like when he comes back. Will said the other day, quote, I could tell it was a little more than bruising. They were assuring me it was only a bone bruise. So then you're kind of like, okay, I guess it's just dealing with it. Then it turns out I wasn't going crazy and it was more. I can trust my body a little bit, which I guess is good, but it is a fracture, and that takes time. And he will go on to say, at some point, I'll definitely get some live at-bats, not in games, but it's crunch time. Got to go. Whenever I'm ready, I'll be back in there. So he has been taking bullpen sessions on the side where he's been catching it, and he flips it to the coach. They flip it back to the pitcher. So he's still involved, but let's call it what it is. I mean, with Will Smith, you're losing one of your most clutch hitters, one of your best right-handed hitters that you need against lefties. And the other thing, too, that concerns me is that he has not been that great since the beginning of August. I mean, he's had a better September for sure, and he was really starting to heat up before he went down. But he has a 190 batting average since August 1st, a 95 weighted runs created plus. So is he going to come back and be the Will Smith that we saw for the first 5 months of the season, or the Will Smith that we saw towards the end of the season? How quickly can he get that back? And the another thing as well is, how does Ben Rortvedt handle the pitching? I mean, Ben Rortvedt, how does he hit? Is he going to be a guy that can put the ball in play, turn over the lineup, get to the bats into the hands of the big boys like he told me? Or is he going to struggle? I think he's found something. I mean, he has made some changes. He is more confident right now, and he's not trying to do too much. He knows that he's here for his defense, and he does provide really good at-bats. Dave Roberts told me that he just never has a bad at-bat. So I'm excited about the Rottweiler, and they really found something with him. And the other big question, too, on top of that question, is right now it looks like Dalton Rushing is going to be the odd man out, and that Ben Rortvedt has come up and he's taken that job as the Dodgers backup catcher and someone who could be their temporary starter. So we'll see what this means for Dalton Rushing for this season. We'll see what this means for Dalton Rushing in the offseason. But I think that the emergence of Ben Rortvedt, who could turn out to be the Dodgers' most impactful trade deadline acquisition. Just imagine that. The Dodgers trading for a guy in Ben Rortvedt, who was someone that not even anyone could pronounce his name. They're Rortvedt. They couldn't even do it. And all of a sudden, he is this star folk hero for the Dodgers. But don't kid yourself. They need Will Smith back in a big way. And will it happen the wild card round? It doesn't feel like it is, but they certainly need to get him back at the very latest by the NLDS. They're going to need his bat. Next big question. Who are they going to match up with? Who are they going to face in the wild card round? Because we know right now the way things are lined up, it's going to be Dodgers, Mets, and the winner takes on the Phillies. And you got the Cubs and Padres on the other side of that bracket, and the winner of that takes on the Brewers. And depending on how that goes, hey, who knows? Dodgers could face the Padres in the NLCS. That's how they could face the Padres this year, be in the NLCS. But right now, the number 6 Mets would go to LA to take on the number 3 seeded Dodgers, and then the Padres would take on the Cubs in that wild card round. The Brewers actually still have a chance to finish with the best record in all of baseball, which you know that they want just in case you get into the World Series and you have home field advantage in the World Series like the Dodgers did last year. But something to monitor. I love monitoring things now. I'm looking at a monitor. Just got to monitor things. Things to monitor this weekend. Dodgers. Yes, you're taking on the Mariners. Let's have Cal Raleigh not win the MVP. Who knows, right? Let's win that MVP for Judge maybe. But you want to see how the relievers perform. You want to see if guys come back, how the offense continues to perform. But if you're scoreboard watching, you're looking at other games, the Mets are in Miami to take on the Marlins. And the lineup for the Marlins for their rotation is set up where you got Sandy Alcantara, Erie Ruiz, and Edward Cabrera. So they're going to try to spoil the Mets season and try to end their postseason chances. So that's a pretty tough rotation with Cabrera and Perez and Alcantara, and a Mets team that really has had a lot of ups and downs this year. And then the Reds, they're taking on the Brewers. So that's where they're at. The Brewers still have something to play for. So they don't know who they're going to play yet. The odds right now are that it's going to be the New York Mets, but there still is meaningful baseball this weekend. There's meaningful baseball this weekend for the Reds, for the Brewers. I think the Dodgers too. It is really an extended audition. It really is an extended audition. Fourth big question. Will the Dodgers offense show up? Will they show up? Since September 1st, they've had the fourth best offense in baseball, a 115 weighted runs created plus, so they've been 15% above league average, 37 home runs in 22 games. And I think this is the Shohei Ohtani postseason. I think last year we had some big moments in the Diaz home run off of Dylan Cease, the big moment in the World Series, game 1, got the big double that led to the tie, that led to the Freeman walk-off grand slam. But I think this is the year where Shohei Ohtani peaks in the postseason for the Dodgers, because I think he's going to win the NLCS and the World Series MVP. I think the offense is going to be there, and I think he's going to have an impact on the mound. And when you do that, it's tough. I mean, he's at a point where he should win the NLCS and World Series MVP, even if he's on the losing side, potentially, because of the impact he can have on his team. But that's going to be key, is do we get a Dodgers team that early in the year, let's be honest, early in the season, if things continued, it didn't matter what the names were. It didn't matter that I would say Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. It wouldn't matter if I said Teoscar Hernandez. It wouldn't matter if I said some of the names that were good last year because they were having bad seasons. I think it matters now because they're all trending in the right direction. This team, I mean, it's tough to find something that makes you lack confidence. If I had to pick, I see right here on a scale of 1 to 10, my confidence level in the offense, I think right now it's at an 8.5. It really is. There's concerns that Will Smith is out. There's concerns that Tommy Edman hasn't been great. Kike's been slumping a little bit for most of the season. But all the guys that I've needed to see turn their seasons around have turned their seasons around. Freddie, Mookie, Muncy, Teo. And Muncy, a little bit of a slump right now, but it's Max Muncy. Even his bad at-bats are good at-bats because he sees so many pitches. I don't think the Dodgers are going to lose because of lack of offense. And I will say this. I think the Dodgers don't need to be elite as an offense, but I do think that they need to give them the B-plus performance. You need a B-plus version of the Dodgers offense because you want to prevent these high-leverage situations throughout the entire postseason if you're going to go to that bullpen. So I think the Dodgers offense this year is going to be a little more comfortable early in games compared to last year. Because last year, remember, they were like, oh, if we don't score early, Doc's going to punt on this game because we don't have the arms. This year, the Dodgers offense knows that they're going to have a capable starting pitcher in the game every single start. So I think that they are going to be a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable, and I expect a big postseason from this Dodgers offense because of that, because they're not having to try to score all their runs in the first 3 or 4 innings to have a chance to win that game. And that on top of these guys are grooving right now, they think they're peaking right now, I think they're going to be in a good spot. But I also think too that you can't overstate the importance of Will Smith and how big of a blow that would be. Will Smith played every single game for the Dodgers behind the dish. He had that big home run in the game 4 to just have the biggest, longest, deepest, hardest hit home run of the postseason for the Dodgers. So don't underestimate him. But yeah, we'll answer more questions. But right now, the final question is Dave Roberts. Will Dave Roberts push all the right buttons again? Will Dave Roberts leave Blake Trinan out there instead of taking him out? Will you go to Walker Buehler? Will you he was managing that bullpen last year so precise, knowing when to not go to high leverage guys, knowing when to use the Brent Honeywells and Landon Knacks, knowing when to use the Blake Trinans and the Anthony Bondas and the Ben Kaspariuses and the Michael Kopechs and the guys that really stepped up last season. He had the great feel to know when, hey, the Dodgers are going to win this game. I got to go with my guys. And really, from bullpen pieces, you just need 3 or 4 guys that are really on it, that are really dialed in and on fire, because the low leverage guys are going to pitch those games where the Dodgers either don't win or they're winning by a lot. So it's not like you need all 8 of those guys to be on. You just need 3 or 4 of them to be on. And I think 3 or 4 of them you already feel pretty good about with Roki Sasaki. And you got Blake Trinan. Do you trust him something tells me that Blake will turn it around. I just feel like the stuff, the competitor that he is, what he's done for this team in the past, you got to hope for that. Tanner Scott, I'm 50-50 on, but I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to throw it out there. I really hope that Tanner Scott ends up being one of these high leverage guys that comes through. Just, I don't know if he's going to get those opportunities, but that's another thing too, is will Dave Roberts press the right buttons? Will he know? Because one of the big questions too is how much is he going to let these starters go deep into games? Like if Yamamoto's out there at 100 pitches and it's the 7th, do you let him go an 8th if it's a tight game? Like I would consider it. Do you let Snell, Glasnow go deeper? I'd consider it. Shohei, I think you're fine at 6, at 5 or 6 because he's come back off TJ and you can't lose him. But a lot of this postseason is going to come down to Dave Roberts. So I know you guys think that if there's a wrong button to press, he'll press it. But last year he pressed all the right buttons. And this year it's not going to be, oh, do I punt on the game? It's no. How much do I trust this starting pitcher to stay out there? And a lot of that is going to limit the pressure of the bullpen, limit the pressure on the offense. I think that's going to ultimately determine if they're going to win the World Series. And it's the starting rotation year. It's the piggyback year. It's the year of the Dodgers murderers rotation to get it done. All right, guys. Next, we're going to get to you guys for the 7th stretch. But let me know down below, what is your big question that you think the Dodgers need to answer? What is your biggest concern about the 2025 Dodgers specifically, though? Let's get specific. Don't just say the bullpen. You can say a member. You can say what part of the bullpen, what part of the game. I want to hear from you down below. But coming up next, we've got our weekly segment that's dedicated to Shohei Ohtani here on The Big Show.
The Big Show.
Number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
All right, so Shohei Ohtani, he is continuing to break records. You're continuing to see stats linked to him that we'd never seen before. And the first thing I want to say about Shohei Ohtani is I never want to see Shohei Ohtani in the same sentence as Babe Ruth ever again. Ever again. Babe Ruth is not a comparison to Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is one of one. He is the unicorn. Baseball has never seen anyone do what Shohei Ohtani is capable of doing, and they're likely never, ever going to see it again. The baseball gods broke the mold when they built Shohei. Think about this. Shohei Ohtani has hit 231 home runs in the last 5 years. And he's struck out 604 batters during that stretch. Babe Ruth, not even one time, struck out more than 3 batters in a season where he hit 30 or more home runs. Just think about what I just said right there. Babe Ruth, the guy that Shohei Ohtani gets compared to because he was a pitcher at one point and would go on to be the most prolific home run hitter of his generation, the iconic Babe Ruth. You love the Babe, but still, not one time did he have more than 3 strikeouts in a season where he had 30-plus home runs. Shohei Ohtani hit 231 home runs in the last 5 years while striking out 604 batters in an evolved game, right? In an evolved game that has more talent than ever, okay? Does anyone think that Babe Ruth would be better than Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani these days? I just don't see it. Other thing, too, Shohei Ohtani this year, a 191 FIP, a 1.9 F4 in 47 innings. I mean, that's great. 33% strikeout rate, a 6.89 strikeout to walk rate. That's second among all starting pitchers with a minimum of 47 innings of work. That is like I don't know if we're ever going to see this because we saw Clayton Kershaw do it, right? Cy Young, MVP. We know Giancarlo Stanton got hit that year in the face in 2014, and he probably would have won the MVP. But this guy next year, I really think he's going to make a run for the Cy Young MVP in the same season. I truly believe that after a whole year, after a whole offseason, the guy's as good as he has ever been. He's better than he's ever been on the mound, and he's still hitting dingers, 54 bombs for Shohei. Another thing too, Shohei, he hit a home run yesterday against the Diamondbacks. His 54th home run of the year that matched the franchise record set by, checks notes, Shohei Ohtani. That is unbelievable for a player in his first 2 years to hit that many home runs, 108 bombs, and he's going to win 2 unanimous MVPs. And when he scored yesterday on that home run, that was the 144th run that he scored this season. That passed Babe Herman. So speaking of passing the Babe, that passed Babe Herman for the most ever in the modern era. Babe Herman had 143 runs scored in 1930. So that's the most in the modern era in Dodgers history. So 2 seasons, he's breaking insane records. Now, he does have a chance to set the all-time Dodgers franchise record, not in the modern era. A man by the name of Hub Collins. Who drops a Hub Collins reference on their show? We do here. 148 runs in 1890 for the Brooklyn Dodgers team at the time. Then Darby O'Brien had 146 runs in 1889. So if he gets 5 runs this weekend, he could finish with the most runs ever scored for the Dodgers any era. Now, he hasn't been great at T-Mobile Park for his career. He's hitting 184 there, slugging 377 in 31 games. He has 6 home runs and has scored 14 runs and hasn't played there since 2023, but just an incredible level of production. How many runs he scored this year for Shohei Ohtani? I mean, if you look at Shohei Ohtani, if that season ended today for 144 runs in the modern era of Major League Baseball, that's only happened 7 times. Acuna Jr. in 2023, Sammy Sosa in 2001 scored 146, Bagwell 152 in 2000, Biggio 146 in 97, Ricky Henderson 146 in 85, and Ted Williams 150 in 1949. So that is something that he's done this year that we're probably never going to see again. Last year was a stolen bases. This year it's the new 50-50 club, 50 strikeouts and 50 plus home runs, and setting the Dodgers franchise record for most runs in a season. So that was this week's Big Show.
The Big Show.
Number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
All right, let's get to you guys. Give me all your thoughts, comments, and questions. We'll throw out a comment of the show here on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
We've got Carl. This series between the Dodgers and Mariners is your World Series preview. That's a hot take. That's a hot take. I mean, the Mariners are a team that has not won a World Series, and they're certainly a team that has a lot of momentum this year. Is it going to be the Mariners? That'd be a West Coast matchup. I don't see it. I don't see it being the Mariners. I don't know. Who do you got right now, Noel?
Damn, man. The Mariners have been looking good, but I'm going to go with the rematch, Dodgers-Yankees, year 2.
Dodgers-Yankees rematch is very possible. It certainly is definitely possible. I think if you look at that Yankees team, they're not as good as last year, but you definitely have some really good starting pitching.
Yeah, the AL feels like it's open. Like, I feel like there's not that one team. I know that, the Astros would have been sick to see that, Dodgers-Astros, but I know they've been going downhill. They might miss the postseason, right?
Yeah, so right now it would be the Yankees and the Red Sox in the wild card round, which would be absolute cinema. That'd be electric. But I look at that Guardians team, man. I mean, we're witnessing one of the all-time gag jobs in history with the Detroit Tigers. It literally would be the biggest choke job in history if they squander that division. But they're a team that certainly, if they do make it, it's going to be against the Guardians team. They would have to go on the road. Guardians are so dangerous. The Blue Jays have kind of gotten it together. I think, but the Mariners would be. I think that's a solid pick, though. The Yankees.
Who would be your pick right now?
You know, my pick in this at the beginning of the season was the Astros, and as you pointed out, things are starting to fall apart for them. I think, man, this is pretty tough. I didn't really put that much thought into this.
Red Sox would be kind of fun.
Red Sox would be pretty fun. Rematch the 2018 World Series. The Blue Jays feel like a team that they've been waiting to put it together for so many years. They've had so much pain, so much pain for the Blue Jays. I'm gonna go Blue Jays Dodgers right now. But I'm like, what I'm trying to let's see the projections right now. I just want to check something because
let us know in the chat, guys. Who do you guys think?
I
the Dodgers
need that. I really needed that Dodgers. I mean, it's so funny because they traded for Correa.
I know.
And
we thought that was going to be like, oh yeah, like another layer.
That'd make it so much better too, and that would kind of really take them over the top. But that definitely did not have that effect on them. Yeah. The other thing too is, I mean, you just got a lot of teams starting to either get really hot or really cold. I mean, the Guardians have gone really hot, and the Tigers have just gone to full blown choke mode. But Yankees, a 14.2% chance to win the World Series. That's pretty high. I mean, a lot of people loving the Yankees right now. The Guardians is pretty low. The Blue Jays, 8.3% chance. I'm going to stick with my pick. I'll stick with a blue World Series.
There we go.
But the Dodgers right now, wow, 12.7% chance to win the World Series. That's below the Phillies. That's below the Mariners. That's below the Yankees. So the Dodgers have been the favorites all year, really, and now it's starting to slip. David Yu, D-Max substituting for Will Smith. Opposing teams will not notice. There you go. My man Smitty. You can take my hand. I don't need it.
Doug, I didn't know you were a Raiders fan.
The Raiders.
Nico Suave said, I'm going to watch my Bears play your Raiders in Vegas this weekend.
He's probably talking about you.
They said D-Mac.
Not a Raiders fan?
That's what Nico Suave.
Raiders. I got Geno Smith. I'm going to starting over Kyler Murray, tell you that much. But you got fun fact about Noel. He is a Raiders fan. I don't hate on the Raiders. I think the silver and black, it's one of the best logos, best color schemes.
I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like if you could go back in time and like you could have it like a year, because you don't have like a team, like, right?
Well, the Rams are my team.
The Rams are your team?
Yeah.
But like,
ever since the Rams came back, I definitely adopted the Rams.
Since you were like a youngin, like were the Rams your team?
Not when I was a youngin, that's for sure. No, I mean, honestly, when I was, my granddad was a big 49ers fan, so I liked Jerry Rice at the time. One time I went to I was weird. Like one time I was in Miami, and I went to a Monday Night Football game in Miami, and I was wearing a Cowboys hat with a Jerry Rice 49ers jersey because I like Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
So my football fandom has been weird ever since LA didn't have a team. You know how I get down, loyal to the soil. And also my fantasy team is my number one team too. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, the Raiders, if the Raiders were in LA this entire time, would I be a Raider fan? Probably, right? I mean, there's no doubt about that. If it's LA, that's what I rep. I mean, yeah, that's just kind of how I get down. Like, I respect people that do hey, I'm a Niners fan and I like the Lakers and Dodgers.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I respect it. I mean, your team's your team, but man, when Randy Newman's I Love LA comes on, that's gotta hit kind of weird.
Facts.
Right? I mean, it's gotta hit a little weird.
Fun fact, me and Doug are playing each other in fantasy this week, guys.
We are, and I think Noel's gonna win. I mean, I'm 3-0, but I think in my first loss, the Dolphins can pop the champagne, the 72 Dolphins. We know no perfect team, but Golf Grouch, Shohei looks like an outright bargain in light of Juan Soto's start to his Mets career. Juan Soto's actually been the best left-handed hitter, at least one of them, in the second half of the season. So he's actually started to produce. But, I mean, you compare Juan Soto to Shohei Ohtani, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the dividends, Shohei Ohtani is like getting Apple stock in the 80s. I mean, the dividends you're going to get from that are insane because it's $700 million deferred, which makes it really a $463 million contract in present day value. Soto, $700 million in present day value. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but guess what? The difference is Juan Soto doesn't make $100 million in endorsements every year, so he really couldn't do that. Dusty Willis, 79. My biggest concern is 100% Tanner Scott blowing the one game that puts the Dodgers out because Doc still thinks he's going to turn things around. He's done. I hope not. I was going to do a top five worst signings, but I don't want those vibes right now. I think I'll wait.
Yeah.
I think I'll wait.
That one.
And I love a negative top five. Trust me. G-Rob, my biggest concern is will Roberts make the right pitching decisions? Yeah. I mean, that's what we talked about, right? I mean, we don't want the ball taken out of Rich Hill's hand. We don't want Clayton Kershaw coming out of the bullpen in the wrong spot like in 2019. I think the number one thing for Dave is the trust in the starters. Is he going to trust the starters? And if he is, I like their chances. You can't panic. What was that one from Nando?
Oh, he was just saying the same thing. Like, pulling starters too early will be a huge test for Roberts.
I didn't want to miss something out of pocket. But is this Nando doing just a bland, like non-crap talking take? I mean, it's a good take, Nando. Pulling starters too early, but I mean, it's so un-Nando like. That's like Chat GP Nando.
It's like, you know how LeBron goes 0 dark 30 for the playoffs? So
is that what Nando's going to be?
Nando just tones it down.
No, we need out of pocket. We need the version of Nando. NS, I hope Shohei changes that walk-up song next year. You don't like that one? I look, at the beginning, I didn't love it, but it's kind of intimidating. The Michael Bublé, I'm feeling good. Yeah. I did like the Lupe fiasco, though. The show goes on a little more. What else could he do? He could do like the greatest show. That'd be kind of whack, actually. But let us know way down below. What would you guys have for if he did the wrestler? You know, there's a wrestler called the Big Show.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Big Show.
He's a legend.
He wouldn't do that, but what else could he do? Shohei. No, you know what he should do? He should do that guy Doze's Shohei Ohtani rap song. Right?
Shout out Doze.
That'd be pretty cool.
I like Doze's Roki song.
Is that new?
Yeah.
Oh wow, we gotta feed. I want to come on the show and I want to rap battle him.
You got raps in you?
Ooh, more bars than Hershey, baby.
I need to see that.
Pablo Ramos, D-Mac, where'd you get that shirt? I think I forgot where I got this shirt from. Someone gave it to me actually. Cole Roots, but you can get it's like a Ray Spooner. You can find these. Cole Kurtz, Shohei is unprecedented in any sport. It would be like Tom Brady making 6 tackles a game along with his passing stats. I've actually talked about this on the show a couple different times where Shohei Ohtani is like having Aaron Donald go up against Aaron Rodgers in their primes. But the truth is pitching is so different than hitting. It does feel like they're playing a different sport. It almost feels like, what if he was the best football player and the best basketball player? Like they're so far from each other. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. Shohei Ohtani is better and more unique at baseball than any player in any sport. Like basketball, the NFL, hockey. I mean, like Connor McDavid, LeBron James, Jokic, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. None of those guys are, like, I think calling him generational is disrespectful. Like he literally is generational means he's that guy in that generation. He's all sport level. And I know we talk about it a lot, but it does not get old at all. It's still incomprehensible. I've said it before too. It's not that he's the best player ever, right? It's that he's the best player ever imaginable. Like you can't even imagine that a guy would play like this. All right. Well, by the way, Emma, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh God, my walk-up song?
Emma's a big fan of hip-hop music.
Yeah, maybe I would do something Kendrick Lamar, rap LA in that way, and I just love him. Maybe like, I don't know, that's so hard. Maybe like Die Hard, I like that one.
Nice. Little deeper cut for him. Yeah, they've been warming up to Not Like Us. Will Smith's had Squabble up the entire year. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, you couldn't go. Kendrick Lamar actually does those drops. Noel's seen him, right? Where he's like, "Get up, Dodgers fans."
Yeah.
I
don't know where about. Yeah. We're gonna be all right.
We're gonna be all right. Would be pretty cool. That'd be a good one. There's like so many to pick from for sure. Wingmaker, would you put Glass on the roster to come out of the pen or leave him off and have another bullpen arm? That's actually a really good question because you really don't need that many starters in the wild card round. I think that they're gonna bank one of those starters. For sure, Glasnow could be that guy. My concern is if you split those first 2 games in the wild card round and you're at game 3 and your bullpen has imploded for whatever reason, you could have a situation where it doesn't matter if you have Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow on the roster and you're saving them for the NLDS. You're in a tough spot there where who do you go in those games if you use Yamamoto and Ohtani in game 2? I'm pretty much rock solid for game 1 and 2. It's got to be Yamamoto and Ohtani. I know some people want Snell, but I would go with those 2, and I would save Blake Snell for that game 1 against Philly. But you're going to probably have Blake Snell. If there's a game 3, you need Blake Snell. So I could see them not having Glasnow on the roster, but I also could see him too as if he's on the roster that it could be just, hey, burn the boats, push all the chips in. But I think right now where they're at, you got to go all starting pitcher heavy and you got to just win this round. I would not stash those guys. I do not care. You live to fight another series. You'll have 5 games to work with, but those 5 games mean nothing if you don't win 2 of those 3 games, and you have to do everything you can to win those games. Golf, Grouch, Babe Ruth used to drink a 5th of whiskey after games. Yeah, you have like 50 hot dogs. He would do like the 9 for 9 challenge, but playing in a game. And there's no slide on Babe Ruth. I'm obsessed with Babe Ruth. I've read like every Babe Ruth book. It just, Shohei Ohtani is just on a different level. Like he just truly is. We'll see if he can sustain it. That's the big question though. This is one from, can't read that, but it's awesome. I can't believe Cal Raleigh won't get the MVP. He's clearly the MVP. Hitting 60 homers sealed it. This is a good debate, but I'm still, Aaron Judge is I know it's unpopular. I know everyone's jumping on the Cal Raleigh thing, and yes, hitting 60 home runs is very impressive, but Aaron Judge is a better player and deserves the MVP. I know that you guys are going to agree with me, but I bring my facts to the fight. And Aaron Judge doesn't have 60 home runs, but he has 51. But he also has an on base of 457, and he slugged 683 and is a 214 OPS plus and a 9.2 WAR. Yes, catcher is the most valuable position on the diamond, but the truth is he's in 247. That's fine, but he has 171 OPS plus for Cal Raleigh and a 214 OPS plus for Aaron Judge. So what it comes down to for me is who has had the better offensive season this year? Is it Aaron Judge or is it Cal Raleigh? The answer is it's Aaron Judge. Defensively, yes, playing catcher is massive, but you look at the WAR numbers, it's a 9.2 WAR for Aaron Judge and 7.2 for Cal Raleigh. I think Cal Raleigh's got the narrative going for him. You're going against a Mariners team. There's some voter fatigue, but I think that Aaron Judge in the American League is just like Shohei Ohtani in the National League, where they're the MVP until further notice, until there is a fall off. So I bet you, look at all you guys. Like Cal.
Yeah, everyone's saying Cal.
Everyone says Cal. Look, I'll die on the Aaron Judge hill. Like Aaron Judge is a superior player to Cal Raleigh this year and all time. Like I don't think Aaron Judge is being celebrated enough. Like he's Barry Bonds without steroids. Like that's what he is. He's Barry Bonds without steroids. Even Shohei Ohtani doesn't put up numbers like Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, like, court is in session, man. And I think if you're judging him just on missing some games and the fact that he doesn't, 60 home runs, Judge has already done that. But I do think that there's a lot of momentum to bring Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh has a better nickname, the Big Dumper. I love the Big Dumper. I do. But, Aaron Judge can't catch. Yeah, he had the MVP, and he's gonna drop it to Cal Raleigh. I don't know. Nando, Tony Tater's at home shirtless right now. That's a fact. That is a big fact, right? That's a comment of the show. I've never even seen Tony Tater's with his shirt on. Does he even own a shirt? I'm not even sure he does. Himmy Turner, biggest question mark is Roki. Y'all getting overhyped over 1 inning? Oh, absolutely. That's what I do. But no, it's because he's better than what they have, and he's shown a lot. I need to see a bigger sample size of this kid. Don't see him on the wild card roster. Oh, he's on that wild card roster. Maybe you don't see him. Take off your glasses. He's on that wild card roster. Jose Villanueva, I'll be there this weekend wearing my fresh gear from Dodgers Nation. LFG. Hey, send us a picture on X, on Instagram. We'll post on our story. Emma, MTV Gen X Watcher fan. The window is now. Our guys must play for their peak form now, and they must play fearlessly. They must in order to win it all. No fear. I like that. We got Alex Renteria. This was the most subdued celebration for a division win. These players know they have disappointed. I don't think that's why. I don't think that's why at all. I think that actually was pretty was pretty accurate with how their season was, because they know that there's guys that have won a lot of times and there's guys that have never won. So I think that you still have to celebrate. It's such a long season. I don't think they care about disappointing. I think the team that they have right now for an entire season would not win 90 games. They know they're not a 90-win team. They know that. This is a 110-plus win team when healthy throughout an entire season. And if it means not playing that and taking advantage of the depth that you have so guys can remain healthy, I think the Dodgers have been playing 4D chess all year. And I think that I'd take 90 wins because the truth is it's not that big of a difference between a 90-win team and a 110-win team in the postseason. We saw a couple years ago with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks in the World Series. We saw a Padres team knock off a 111-win Dodgers team. It's about top-level talent. Got any good comments to the show? I think we got some good ones. NS says no pen in the World Series, no pen in the wild card, piggyback the starters. Turbo Duran, the Cubs won big, 12-1 against the Cardinals. Thank you for that update. Mickey Mouse, Tanner Scott will find a way to unclinch the division. Man, can we call it a comment show but not post it on the socials? All right, let's get the one.
I put that one deep in. I was like, if you get to it, you get to it. But I was like, man.
I mean, it just I gotta do something with Tanner Scott, a Tanner Scott bet. Like if he gets,
Doug,
what's up?
This is a good question.
Okay, let's do it.
That's tough.
Steven Lopez, love the shoeies yesterday. How about the 9 Tortas and 9 Modelos in 9 innings for the wild card? You know what? I'll think about it.
Check this one out here. I think this is a good idea.
Christopher Castellanos.
Yep.
Should we brought back Walker Buehler out of the pen? Christopher Castellanos should have brought. Is that what you're talking about?
No. The one right above.
Okay.
Right here.
Christopher Castellanos. D-Mac, if the Dodgers win the World Series, you have to do a post-game show without a shirt in honor of Kershaw. All right, there you go. I promise to do it. Yesterday, I actually bench pressed 185 for the first time. I'm at the 1 year anniversary of my back blowing up like the Dodgers bullpen, but I will go shirtless for sure. I got a month to prepare. I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it shirtless right now. I don't even care. I'll do it. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Yo, Doug, guys, if Doug does it, you'll see a tat like Ben Rortvedt yesterday.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's the thing too. It'll give me a month to get my tattoos, my Michael Conforto tattoo. All right, that's a deal. I'll do it. I'll do it shirtless. I'll go full Kershaw. I mean, right now I'm doing it pantsless. I mean, you guys can't. No, obviously.
We can confirm.
You can't.
Just like Ben Rortvedt had the lion face on his chest, you got to get Michael Conforto's.
I'll get Michael Conforto's face. Okay, this is getting too crazy. Moob City. Yep, there you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Crypto Bill bullpen needs a Honeywell like last year who will eat innings in a blowout. They actually got those guys, to be honest. I mean, if a Robleski is not high leverage and he's on, he could be a guy, but I think the quality actually towards that end could be something similar. Right, guys, it's been a longer show because there's a lot to talk about. We'll be back later tonight. Dodgers Nation post-game show. Thanks for joining us as always. And we got a big show. We're going to do some giveaways too. The 3,000 bobblehead one, I was talking about that one, so I got some extra ones for that. Comment CK3K for that giveaway. We're also going to be launching a new show on another channel pretty soon, so a little tease for that. Join the Discord, go to Prize Picks, go to gearup.la. Special thanks to all you guys that make this show what it is. But hey, buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Yes, the regular season was a bumpy ride, but hey, they got from point A to point B. Now it's time to get to point C, championship. No, that was whack. We'll give myself a bro for that. But that's going to do it, guys. Follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Follow Noel Sanchez Emma. Where do they follow you at?
I don't have like a professional account, I don't know if the people want my personal Instagram, I'm like, it's not really going to contribute much.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. We'll get her a professional account. How about that? We'll get that. What's your professional handle going to be? Emma Dodgers Nation?
Yeah.
Dodgers Emma. That kind of works. You start copywriting that for sure. Yeah. Absolutely for sure. Rest your emotions until Tuesday. No, watch all weekend. Okay, you got just this bullpen out, but go follow them and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, with the like button, and remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring,